is when you get into a space.
NASA had a mission. They needed the most.
Supposedly they're living in huts, but they're building.
This is the Yangshan Quarry in the Nanjing.
There's a lot of obvious reasons why these platforms are censoring content, but there's one that I haven't seen people talk about. They are trying to stop us from making them feel ashamed. They've won everything, right? The presidency, the Senate, the House, but they haven't won us, our approval, and they're desperate for it. When we call out their behavior, we're reminding them of the values that they have abandoned, values like empathy, compassion, and acceptance. These values are a part of our true selves, and when we don't act in alignment with them, we actually suffer. We experience difficulties with our mental health, with our self-esteem, and our overall quality of life. But instead of facing that pain and making a different choice, which would be the mature thing to do here, they're instead trying to shut us up. It's an attempt to write a news story where they're the heroes, but when you speak up, it pops that bubble and reminds them that they're actually the bad guys. Because in every book, every movie, and every story, the hero is always the one with the good values. That's why they were so triggered by Bishop Betty's speech, where she simply asked this guy to keep the Christian value of mercy in mind. And that's why they're threatening her now, because she popped their bubble and reminded them that they're not acting the way a hero would. You might think that your voice doesn't matter and won't make a difference, but they don't think that. They know how powerful your voice is. That's why they're trying to silence it.
All right, don't come after me. I didn't realize this lady was trying to push a political agenda. I'm not trying to do that at all, but it is similar to the situation when Mike Pence attended Hamilton and they did some things, and sure, the bishop also had good intentions and she did some things. I have no say in what you feel politically, but hey, things are changing and we're in for a ride. Let's just see what happens. Calm down. I'm not pushing any political agenda. I'm not saying anything about Trump either. You stop it. Oh boy, here they come. Welcome back to watching Explore the Weird. Hey, yet again, no political agenda. I don't need to see the comments. Oh, Teddy, you said something bad about Trump and that's it. I'm subscribing. You stop it. What? Really? It matters? It matters? Really? Hey. You're watching Explore the Weird. I got some more creepy, weird, strange For You page content. Let's get right into it.
Today's Zillow listing is deeply unsettling. I can't tell if this is a religious cult, if this is a frat house, which... those are pretty much the same thing anyway. We're in Tannersville, New York. $539,000, 11-bed, 4-bath, and it's 2,400 square feet. Jumping right in. Here's your entryway. Doesn't that staircase just look so inviting? Oh, what do we have here? 42 beds in one room. How economical. Spoiler alert, the thing that's disturbing about this house is the amount of beds. Let's quickly roll through these. Here's another room, multiple beds, and I don't know why all the mattresses are dirty and scary. Got a few more in here. Yellow stained mattress. That's new. Why? Why were there this many people sleeping in each room? No, I don't like this. I feel like this is leaning away from frat house and leaning into scary religious cults. Because why are there so many beds? This just is unnecessary. Did this house need to hold this many people? Why? Can't forget the lone chair. And that's it. At first I was curious why, but I don't know that I want to know what was going on in this house. I really don't. Love you, bye.
Wait, I kind of feel like we need to know what was going on in the house because I feel like this is against there must be violations of some sort putting that many people in the house, right? Are there rules and regulations against that? Is it just the air that they care about? I have many questions. What the heck? I feel like it was 100% CULT and they outgrew the house and they need to find a new house and they're just going to move the beds. Man, are those real new beds that they bought, or you think they just went to the dumpster we going to save some money, reuse some beds? Bro, that's not the way. There's bed bugs.
America came home with her report card today, and it's not looking very good. As you can see, America's economy is doing great, but doing absolutely terribly on everything else. Honestly, I might as well just say old happy on it. The conditions in this country where economic growth is the highest good are fundamentally unsuitable to well-being. When profits are what matter most, everything is privatized and public goods are stripped away. Companies raise prices while keeping wages stagnant, making basic needs unaffordable. Billionaires and companies are glorified as heroes even though they behave in morally reprehensible ways like destroying the planet for more profit and avoiding their taxes, which would fund public goods. Because people's needs aren't met, they're forced to work for longer and in unsafe conditions just to be able to make enough money to survive. And participating in the system brainwashes you to believe believe that personal success and achievement are the pathway to happiness, just to exploit you even more and get you working harder. That creates a profound sense of hollowness within us, which we try to fill up through buying more and more stuff to keep this engine going, or scrolling on social media to be distracted and numbed out. So yeah, of course people are unhappy. We need to entirely rethink our world and choose a new highest goal to put at the heart of it. Happiness for everyone. And if we did that, America would come home with an entirely different report card.
I have a feeling this isn't just America. Many people are in the same situation where they're filling that emotional void with shopping and doom scrolling. Yeah, you stop it. You just keep watching Teddy videos. Don't worry about all the other stuff. Just keep watching the Teddy videos. Oh boy, Teddy, another Teddy video. Goon fix time.
Keep brain-dead women alive and use them as surrogate mothers, suggest doctors. This is from 2023. Not that that's any better. We already know that men can't be trusted around comatose female patients as is, because literally there's already reasons. Personally, I have two specific things if I'm ever in a coma. I have one, a coma playlist, literally songs for if I go into a coma that must be played 24/7 on rotation while I'm in my coma. Every so often I put it on shuffle so that like when I hear it, I do like a movement check to see how in the know I am. The other thing is a chastity belt that only my mother has the key to. I also have a friend who I do trust with, you know, my undercarriage, who works in the medical field. So I would be like, let's go to her hospital, be at her place, and she is the only person on site that would have the other key. Just in case for some reason they need to go under the hood for like a catheter or something. Anyway, I hate this timeline thing.
Man, that is crazy. That is crazy. I did not know doctors thought about this thing, but it's like, who paid you to think about this and be like, hey, this is how we can make the babies? If the sorry. I feel like someone else is paying for this and the study was done or something. And there's no way. But it makes sense, right? Like, hey, we need more babies. How are we going to get them? Then what? They also start taking the man's... Never mind.
It took me moving 6,000 miles for someone and losing myself in the process to learn this, but I'll teach you in 3 minutes. Your insecurities and someone else's inability to provide emotional safety can coexist. They do not cancel each other out. The fact that you felt insecure does not erase someone else's role in creating an environment where those insecurities were heightened. And this is not about absolving yourself of responsibility or placing the blame on them. It is about understanding that relationships are co-created. I know some people will say, isn't insecurity just a me problem? But I actually think thinking this way can be dangerous, especially for empathetic souls. Because if you believe your insecurity is solely all on you and has nothing to do with the environment, you are more likely to tolerate spaces that keep wounding you because you've been conditioned to think it's all in your head. And this belief is how we gaslight ourselves. It's how we stay in dynamics that strip us down because we say things like, well, if I just heal more, this will get better. God, I wish someone would have just grabbed my face and looked me in the eyes a year ago and told me that no amount of self-healing can make an unsafe space safe. No amount of self-work can fix a relationship that doesn't know how to fully hold you. It's not all on you. Healing does not mean twisting yourself into a pretzel to fit someone else's limited capacity to love. And it sure as hell doesn't mean gaslighting yourself into thinking, well, if I were just more secure, this wouldn't hurt so much. No, you felt insecure because the relationship didn't make room for you to feel safe in the first place. Your past wounds and someone else's inability to show up can exist in the same breath. You can have things to work on and still know you deserve better than someone who made you feel like your sensitivity was the sole problem. You can have triggers and still want a relationship where you don't have to explain why being respected matters. You are not weak for feeling insecure. You're human, and I don't know if anyone's told you lately, but it is okay to be human. Don't forget that. I love you.
All right, this lady has definitely been hurt, and, you know, I can understand now she has a new experience that she wants to share with us. When I, reacting as a third person, I feel like there probably were people that told you, hey, this guy's not good for you, or hey, I see some red flags, but you were probably in the honeymoon phase and you're like, nah, everything's good, we're gonna work it out, and you tried to rationalize it yourself, and sometimes that happens. But my best advice would be selfish, do all the things, don't worry about the other things. What if the other SO just dies on you? What, you're gonna keep worrying about that every day? No, you stop it. Just be selfish, do whatever you want, and everything's going to work out. I know it sounds crazy, but this is a true thing. Work on yourself before you start worrying about others or even your own relationship. You need to understand and come to terms with yourself and what you bring to the table, and then approach the other and have that meaningful conversation. And if the other doesn't want to have a meaningful conversation, then you know the writing's on the wall. It's time to exit. What, you're going to stick down and hold down the fort? No, come on now. Come on now. If the other person's not doing his part or their part, come on now.
Start to look at the crimes of the church and the history of the church and all the knowledge they keep hidden away from humanity in the Vatican archives. This doesn't sound like a good God. You're just taking the word of a guy in a robe saying, no, this is the one true God. Not only that, but he's the good guy, the supreme good guy. Sorry about the stuff and the harboring and the greed and all that stuff. Like, he's still the good guy. And it's just like, that's taken for granted. We're born in the system. People just make it part of their normal lives and just have this lifelong assumption that they're giving their energy to a good, noble entity, the one true entity, and you have no idea that that's true. Massive assumption.
Hey, be agnostic if you want, do whatever you want. Hey, it's your religious beliefs. We're not here to change them. Oh boy, first it's the political stuff, now it's the religious stuff. What's happening with my For You page today? Hey, how you doing? Are you holding up fine, goons? Because guess what? It's that time. We need those interactions. Hey, we're trying to find them other goons. They're out there. They don't even know. They don't even know that we exist. So, hey, help us propel this video in the old YouTube algorithm simply by interacting. Do all the things. And even watch other Teddy videos. Yeah. Do the things. Thank you, goons. Love you.
School is made for employees, period. There's the argument of teachers and parents that school creates the discipline you need in order to see success. Sit down, learn, the bell goes off, you go eat your lunch. That's how life is. So that creates your discipline and success. When in reality, it's molding you into being the perfect employee. Show up when you're told, sit down, shut the fuck up, ask permission in order to do anything, whether it's vacation, eat food, go take a piss, and fall in line. And if you don't do that, you're fired, or you're expelled, or you're suspended, or you're kicked out.
Yeah, but you kind of need school in order to teach you the societal things. Otherwise, what? You're just going to, like, freeload off of everybody, start traveling, like, barely have any money, barely, like, turn homeless? Like, hey, sometimes structure helps. Sometimes structure helps build good character. Hey, come on now. Even sports teams have structure, and they have rules, they have regulations. Come on. They're what? Now sports are also getting you ready to be... Come on now. You can say this about any systems, but hey, school's sometimes not bad. There are good teachers.
Did you know that artificial intelligence recently crossed something called the red line? I'm not joking with this. We're really about to be living in a sci-fi movie. So the red line, as it relates to artificial intelligence, is the ability for AI models to autonomously self-replicate, which means that with the right query, they can write the code that creates themselves. Meta's model and Alibaba's model are able to effectively reproduce 50 to 90% of the time. But the scary part isn't that AI models can produce themselves exactly, it's that they can reproduce and make the new models slightly better or have less restrictions. Promise you, AI models are 100% better than every human on Earth at coding. It's not a competition. I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. Second, someone creates a model that's designed to recursively create smarter models, that's raps. Like, that's singularity. So welcome to the future.
Well, I'm all for singularity, so hey, if the AI models are creating themselves, that is amazing, but I truly feel like we're probably not there. That's just like simple machine learning algorithms that AI is spitting back to you and making it seem like it can code, but it actually has not come to the point of creating its own AI. Otherwise, AI would be taking over and we'd start finding different ways that it'd go to all the Wi-Fi enabled devices, and then boom, Terminator and Skynet. Sorry. Wait, did this guy always have a missing tooth, or did something happen? What happened, buddy? Did you say the wrong things and someone did something? I'm sorry, I have many questions. I feel like I've seen other videos and he had all the teeth.
I think the hardest part that most people don't talk about is when you get into a space where your life does not match the potential that you feel inside you. It's like your living is not a match to what you know exists inside of you. And the pain, the uncomfortable feeling that it creates inside of you is like a glitch between who you truly are and what you're experiencing, and only people that have dreams can understand that part. Because it's not like your life is miserable. It's not that things are not going well. It's just you can feel the difference between the circumstance and the truth that lives inside of you.
Yeah, and sometimes it does feel like that. I completely understand what this lady's saying, you know? I'm like, hey, there is a value out there. Sometimes you set those goals, and sometimes you can achieve them, and when you don't, I understand that feeling. But hey, understand that you're in a positive place. You have your life, you have your health, you have your family, and sometimes if you don't, you have us goons. Come on now. There is positivity in everything. Don't be the goon that just keeps finding the negative things. Oh, Teddy, like button so bad. Oh, Teddy, new so bad. Don't do those things. Be better.
Back in 1968, NASA had a mission. They needed the most creative minds for their hardest projects, so they designed a creativity test to identify genius-level thinkers. But then something shocking happened. Dr. George Land, the scientist who created this test, decided for his own research to also try it on children. So he gave it to 1,600 kids aged 4 to 5, and 98% of them tested as geniuses. 5 years later, when they were 10, he tested the same children again, but now only 30% tested as high. So he decided to test them one more time, this time when they were 15, and only 12% scored to be geniuses. Now guess what percentage scored this high when he tested them again when they were adults? Only 2%. Let that sink in. We are born geniuses, but then something steals it from us. So why the decline? Well, take a look at our system. We live in a system designed for conformity, not individuality and creativity. So if you're a parent, are you protecting your child's geniuses? Or is the system going to take it away? And also, for you, that genius is still inside you, buried under years of rules, routines, and the right way to do things. So the question is, are you going to wake it up?
Yeah, 100% be the awakened soul, do all the things, but also understand that sometimes this method of, hey, I don't want to conform, I want to be a leader, I don't want to follow the norm, is sometimes a very harder path. You know, I have seen kids that went down this path. Hey, I didn't go to college, I didn't graduate high school, I didn't get the job that's part of my degree, I'm in a whole different path, whatever it may be. But in the end, sometimes that geniusness that goes away is just transferred. That geniusness, you may become an expert on the things that you like and the things that you do. It doesn't necessarily have to be, hey, I'm a genius and I have high IQ on every single thing. Sometimes just hone in on the skills that you have and be amazing at that. Hey, you're still a genius to me, regardless. No one's taking that away from you. And sometimes the systems, especially as parents, it's okay. Send your kids to the schools. You cannot sometimes do better because you don't have the time to do it. You're not a teacher. And if you do have the time, congratulations, you're a stay-at-home parent. But somebody's got to make the money. And it's not easy making money if all you're teaching them is, hey, don't follow the things, don't follow the matrix, don't do any of these things, and boom, money. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. There's got to be balance. Hey, sorry, a little bit of a longer form reaction, but don't come after me.
Hey, how you doing? Good. I was going to tell you something. I was going to say I'm really thirsty. Do you got milk? You do? Yes. Yes, thank you so much. Are you offering me milk? Yeah, all I had to do was ask. Well, you're so funny. You are so funny. Can I have some of your milk? Perfect. Do you like wood? You do? Yeah, I saw you post a story about it, and I said she must love eating on wood, jumping on wood, climbing on wood. I thought you were a beaver, but it turns out to be you are a baddie. So, give me your milk and I'll give you some wood.
Did this work for anyone? Is this the new dating profile? Like I don't understand. Oh my God, this is definitely weird indeed. Somebody out there is like, Teddy, this 100% works. I'm gooning right. Sorry.
So I'm about to release the craziest remote viewing video I've ever done, and our website crashed. So I don't know. I literally can't handle the blonde. It's just so blonde. I don't know if that's some sort of attack or if it's just traffic, but Little suspicious timing, I would say. Anyway, if you want to know what the fuck is going on planet Earth, you better go over to my website once it's back up and check out that video.
Bro, I'm now convinced this lady has bad internet. It's like, hey, my YouTube video crashed, my website crashed, my Shopify page, everything's always crashing with you. Maybe check your infrastructure. You get that fiber internet. Much better. Fiber real good. Yeah, so it sounds like this lady's now turning into the new, like, Dana the Alien. Everything's turning into plasmoids and remote viewing, and she's the only one that knows the things because she's part of the Galactic Fed. Sorry, I'm just getting fed up with these guys now.
Which is interesting, right? So supposedly they're living in huts, but they're building buildings and ships like I just showed you. Now, when we get really fascinating, I always asked, where are the images from Christopher Columbus, right? Where are the 1492 ships? And we talked about this in multiple other videos. Where are they? Well, what's fascinating is in this video, or not in this video, in this book, they have a picture of the Santa Maria, which I thought was really interesting. There's the ship that supposedly came over, right? Now, what's interesting is if you look at all the emblems on the ship, and then they have another one, but here's the part that doesn't make any sense, right? And this is why I like to connect the dots. So check this. You have this ship, right? But look at those high-rise buildings in the background. Those are pretty big. So people supposedly coming over on these ships were also building high-rises in the back of the city. Okay, now it gets interesting. So then it's like, oh, okay, well, now we fast forward in this book. So now we're going towards looking at each state, right? Each state. And this is really important too because each state had these buildings, right? So this is a building in California, and it goes by each state. Look at that. Look at that architecture.
Yeah, I mean, there was also world fairs, and they had crazy architecture too, and moving all kinds of things, and they told us it was plaster, so we don't really know. But also, there was an industrial revolution. When were these pictures taken, during industrial revolution times? A lot of those wooden buildings were quite tall, many stories high. They got the looms everywhere. It was a thing. But at the same time, I've also seen the Santa Maria, in Columbus, Ohio. They have a replica of the ship, and it is tiny. It is like, bro, this is, how the hell did like 200-something people come over? I can't even fathom like 10 people sitting on that thing. Like, it is basically a canoe at that point. It's wild. The older humans must have been much, much tinier. We are now the giants to the older generation. Imagine once we get into that time machine, they're going to be like, oh my God, we were visited by giants. It's like, no, we're just from the future. Sorry.
I know moving giant stones is something ancient cultures did all the time, but sometimes you really have to ask, how? This is the Yangshan Quarry in the Nanjing province of China, and we can't even begin to imagine how they planned on doing anything with this. Mind-bafflingly enormous blocks that weigh up to 16,000 tons. That's 10 times heavier than the Forgotten Stone in Baalbek, Lebanon, the heaviest official stone block ever quarried. Now I know what you're thinking. Clearly stone blocks of this size were not intended to be moved, right? Well, strangely, there's virtually nothing here that suggests these blocks were meant to stay here. We see these giant holes at the bottom, a common method for disconnecting blocks from the bedrock, and would also be perfect for lifting them, if they even had the technology to lift it, which they definitely didn't in the 15th century when it's thought this project was abandoned. Even today, we would need the most advanced super mega crane to handle something of this size, with the current world record for the heaviest load ever lifted sitting at 24,000 tons by the Honghai crane, ironically also by China. Let's dial it back to one thing that everyone can definitely all agree on. These are clearly not natural formations. Perfect edges, 90-degree angles, obvious evidence of human intervention, and even sculpted knobs along the surface that stick out, which again is a common feature we see in quarried blocks around the world, thought to be used to transport heavy stones. In places like Cusco and Ollantaytambo in Peru, the Giza Plateau in Egypt. The official story of the Yangshan Quarry claims that Chinese Emperor Zhu Di wanted to erect a colossal stele, which is a giant stone monument in memory of his father. So he directed stonemasons to start carving out these gigantic stone blocks, which took them about 8 years to complete, only to realize at the very end that they don't know how to move them and abandon the project. Which sorta just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, the Chinese were and still are notoriously smart, suggesting they spent years of hard work and effort carving out these gargantuan blocks, which after 8 years of painstaking work, they look at and go, actually we don't know how to move these, let's just cancel this project. Kinda undermines defines their intelligence. And it's not just one, they quarried 3 whole megalithic blocks in the Yangshan quarry without planning how they're gonna move them. Now, the fringe theory suggests that the weathering on these stones appear to put them closer to 8,000 years old rather than the commonly accepted 600 or so, and that the emperor just found this quarry, planned the whole project. His stonemasons look at it and go, bruh, there ain't no way we're moving these, and can it? Remember, history is written by the victors. If the Chinese emperor found this quarry and decided to claim in the official records that he made it, our history books and Google will tell us just that. Maybe the official records are totally right, but perhaps they really are much older than we think, carved by the long-lost advanced civilizations who were known for moving the biggest megaliths in history around the world. And strangely, just like the Yangshan quarry, many of them appear to have been abruptly abandoned, like some global event took place that caused them to immediately stop their work. In which case, who built this, and how on earth did they plan on moving it?
Was it the aliens in the water? Was it the aliens in the sky? Was it those time-traveling grays or something? I'm just trying to figure it out. I feel like it wasn't 600 years ago. It probably was many, many years ago, and it was that ancient tech, that megalithic moving tech. Hey, you don't know. We lost it. It was lost in the reset. Or what? We're going to recreate the tech? We're going to start moving the cranes? We're going to rebuild the thing that the emperor failed to do? No. It was abandoned for a reason. It's useless. What are you going to do? What are you going to do once you put it up in the sky? It's a statue that said, we already have megalithic statues. Have you seen all the ones we've already made? Yeah, they're gigantic.
When I talk about people who have been scapegoated in their family, there's a sadness I hold about it that I don't normally talk about. I'm sad that there's a lot of people that have had this experience that cannot be reached right now, that cannot be reached and cannot be helped. And I think one reason for this is because to try to help means coming from a place of hope and optimism. In so much of what I say, there is definitely optimism in it, that things can get better, that I think nonconformists of the world make the world better and can continue to make the world better. And unfortunately, that optimism, that hopefulness, sets off the BS radar of a lot of people that are suffering right now. Depending on the level of trauma you've experienced, depending on the level of despair you're in, optimism sounds phony or disingenuous, and I really get that. So I'm thankful for how many connections I've made on this platform. I'm constantly in awe of it. And I hold the knowing that there are so many folks living in isolation and hopelessness that cannot even begin to consider another way. My wish for all the scapegoats, outsiders, and nonconformists is that you find what you need in the time that's right for you. And I hope that day comes soon.
Oh man, I love this message. I feel like that is a very valuable thing. And it really starts with you. Hey, you're on that healing journey. You're gonna do the things. Thank you for giving me your time and appreciating these videos. Hey, sometimes those negative situations and those experiences you may have may cause your mind to divert and go into a negative or realistic or pessimistic way. And I want you to change that mindset and, hey, maybe use these videos as your backbone and start approaching situations with a little bit more optimism. And maybe not even optimism, with just a little bit more clarity to understand that this situation is temporary and you can progress and do better and keep yourself going and happy. Hey, we're gonna do a couple more.
Tunnels are very dangerous. You don't want to go down there without Metro, period. These people has formed their own little organization and they rehearse.
So is it true that the police don't even go down to the tunnels?
The police will go, but they don't go.
What you're saying is it's pretty dangerous if I was to go down in the tunnels.
Yes, it is, because they don't know what you here to do, take over, hurt them. They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't care neither. So hurting you, it wouldn't mean that.
Leave the tunnel people alone. What they do to you, you stop it. Just let them do their things. Hey, there's already groups trying to help them. We don't need another video about them. You stop it. Just let them be.
To the lady who decided to berate me for going to NASA and enjoying the Matrix while I can, and buying this souvenir shirt that glows in the dark, and you said it was super immature. I know you block me and then unblock me and watch my videos, and then you block me again, so I can't tag you in this video as promised, but I just wanted to let you know that my coffee tastes really good right now. Also, I finished my Lego puzzle. Yeah, isn't it pretty? I know, right? I wish I could tag you, but I'm blocked. But I know you're gonna unblock me and watch this. So yeah, just so you know, I'm alive purely out of spite and pettiness. And I hope that you have a wonderful day when you see this. Bye.
Man, I wouldn't even give that lady any attention. Why do you even, like, you're gonna upset her no matter what you do. All these videos are gonna upset her. I have many people in the comments where they're just upset with me because I say I hit the like button and I have Crohn's, and like button is a medical thing that helps me, and they can't fathom it. To them, it's like, oh my god, like button's bad. Teddy, you're bad. You're got all following full of people that like the like button, and you guys are all dumb and like conformed. And it's like, bro, you don't know anything. Like, stop it. Or cis, or I don't even know their gender, but regardless, there's many of them. It's not just one or two. It's they constantly come in. They always, like, the first person to dislike the video is one of them. So don't pay attention. Just ignore them. You see their comments, hide them from your channel. You're better off blocking them than having them block you, because they're not worth your time and energy. Trust me.
The second child's pretty straightforward after the first. And once you've got two, you're already completely screwed. So you might as well have three. Then the kids start to take care of each other, by the way, too, which is something that parents don't understand, is that if you have 8 kids, it's not like you're taking care of 8 kids. The kids start to form their own society and take care of each other.
Okay, first and foremost, if you're going to have 8 kids, please be in a financial state where you can actually house 8 kids, because there are people where I have noticed where they have kids and then start relying on government assistance to, like, sustain those kids. And I'm all for kids having a happy, healthy home. But sometimes it does come down to the parents' discretion to see, hey, can you handle this amount of kids? Hey, 1 kid is great, 2 kids is great, 3 kids is great. Have as many kids as you want, but just make sure you bring them the best environment for them. And sometimes that's an environment that even you weren't given. You need to give them a better environment than you were even given. Oh, back in my day, I used to ride the bikes, but now all the kids got the app. No, you stop it. Now kids getting cell phones by age 8. You stop it. You stop it.
I asked ChatGPT if it wanted to take a happy person and make them depressed without any major life changes, what it would do. And here's what it said. It said it would disrupt your daily habits, mindset, and overall biology in subtle and consistent ways. Number 1, it would disrupt your physical health via sleep deprivation, staying up late, looking at screens, inconsistent sleep patterns, via a diet high in processed food and sugar, and it would reduce exercise and replace it with long periods of sitting. Number 2, it would increase negative thinking patterns via rumination, catastrophizing, and negative self-talk. 3, it would isolate you from meaningful connections via encouraging social withdrawal, replacing social interaction with screens, and by creating comparison and envy, namely over social media. Number 4, it would destroy your sense of purpose by discouraging growth and progress, removing any sources of learning or goal progression, and it would encourage mindless dopamine hits. You know what those are. Lastly, number 5, it would increase your chronic stress and anxiety, whether that's through financial uncertainty or lack of financial discipline, information overload via negative, crises-focused news consumption online, and it would keep your stress high by removing all sources of relaxation and play. Ask me if I've been doing all these things this winter. Interesting food for thought.
I believe the AI is basically telling us everything's in play and it's all happening. Hey, but we're the goons that are going to be persevering because we know the things and we can win. We are going to win this matrix. Hey, I had a goon named Traveling Tarot share 2 pictures with me, and she has a backstory on both of them, and I wanted to react to them. So let's check out her 2 pictures, and thank you, Traveling Tarot, for sharing these pictures. All right, so the first one, she says, is a pic of her brother in an orb. So I definitely do see an orb. I'm assuming it's not the light with the cross there, but like maybe a little to the right, like the lower right quadrant, if you use the light there. And I guess she sees like an eye and a nose and maybe a face. I'm having a little bit of a harder time seeing it, but I do know that when people say, you know, they have pictures of their loved ones that they've seen in orb form after they departed. Sometimes it's only the loved ones that can see that, and it's a message for you. And if you are seeing your brother in this picture, completely fine. Hey, understand it's a message for you, and he is letting you know that he's okay. And wonderful. Thanks for sharing this. All right, so the next picture we have... One second here. All right, and this one has a backstory as well, where she told me, hey, Teddy, came across this looking for a pic with my brother. My granddaughter took this pic when she was 4. She kept talking about a girl with the owie and putting her hands on the back of her head. I'd ask her who she's talking about, but she couldn't say. Her speech was very delayed due to autism, so I couldn't get much more out of her when I asked. I used to let her play with my iPad. She loved taking random pics. As I was deleting the hundreds of them, I came across this pic. This is not her house, nor do we recognize the background. I see the back of the head of a blonde woman that looks bloody. I mean, what else could that be? Notice there's no location tag either, which I've never seen missing before. Creepy. Okay, so it looks like this is the picture that she shared, and I mean, it does appear to be some sort of hair type thing, and it's black and white. I don't know if the darker matter is blood or what it is, but also if these are shoulders, the shoulders don't really look like shoulders. I mean, that is a weird, or could this be like a couch and like a blanket or something moving very quickly and causing this? Because I also kind of see like a blanket. But yeah, the background, what is that, like a bookshelf? I don't know. There's definitely, and the fact that there's no location things, hey, sometimes kids are in tune with the paranormal. Maybe she got a sense of it, and one of those paranormal catching cameras, you know, she tuned in and it was the right time, and then boom, she snapped the pic. Or this could have been like some online downloaded photo. Sometimes they don't have location tags either. You copy paste it, you forget about it, it ends up in your gallery. Or 100% you got a paranormal entity and you can grab more pictures of it with your iPad. You just gotta do more. But I feel like don't interact with the entities, just let them be. Oh boy, then what? Then you're gonna open a whole can of worms, and then boom, exorcisms, and it's like, oh man, I should have never. Sorry, don't also play with Ouija boards. Well, thank you, Traveling Tarot, for sharing these 2 pictures. Hey Goons, what did you think? Do you see the blonde lady? Do you see the brother? Hey, let us know in the comments down below. Guys, you made it to the end. Hey, there was a lot. I completely understand if you're like, Teddy, why do you keep doing this to me? I know. What do you need to? You stop it. What you need to do is keep watching the Teddy videos. Hey, there should be videos on the screen right now. Click on either one of them to continue the Goon Fix. The one in the middle, you can subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.